I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing?
Hi.
I'm so happy it's Friday. You happy
Same.
it's Friday? We made it, you guys.
Looks like we made it.
We did. Coming up on today's show, we're going to give you an update on all the Mayor Adams stuff and things. More of our money is going to Ukraine. Surprise! Surprise on that. Also, Mark Cuban is a douche canoe.
He really is.
He is, isn't he? And there's a new gun control executive order. All that, and so much more coming up on today's show. Make sure you're subscribed to all the things.
You did not pause.
Okay, all that and so much more coming up on today's show. Make sure that you're subscribed to all the things that better, Spencer. Spencer's going to be happy with that. Subscribe to all the things. Click subscribe. Do all the things. Go to our socials, chicksontheright.com/links. Do that. Do it. Also, you can stock up on Native Path Hydrate. You guys, this stuff is bomb. It's so good. I do like the peach mango, but I like the tangerine the best. Tangerine is my favorite. I'm obsessed with it. Get up to 44% off plus free shipping. Visit nativehydrate.com/chicks. Do it today. You will actually like drinking water if you do that.
It's true.
Best stuff ever. Mm-hmm.
It is so good.
Oh, I love it.
The hurricane is just pounding away at all kinds of places. It is so massive and so huge and so bad. So hoping everybody that watches our show and is in that path is hunkered down, that you still have power, that you're managing through it. There's obviously going to be, like today, once the light comes, we'll find out just how awful it was, especially in the Big Bend area of Florida and elsewhere. I mean, it's just so huge and so many places are being impacted by it. And we do not intend at all to make light of it, but I will show a video, you guys, that you have to see from a guy in Florida, in Tampa, Florida. Tampa is like underwater. It's bad in Tampa. And a guy whose house flooded, who also has an audience and does live streams of some sort, is in his kayak in his living room, okay? Because his house is totally flooded. So he's in a kayak. And this attitude is so phenomenally positive. Or at least not, maybe it's not positive, but he's just so, what are you going to do about what's happening to him? It's absolutely amazing. Check this out.
But at least I'm not electrocuting myself anymore. We have we got the chlorine going, so try to disinfect some of this nastiness. That's good.
Oh my God.
Florida man doing Florida things. By the way, please visit hornblasters.com. I'm located here in Tampa, Florida.
I cannot.
Bro, get out. What are you doing? Yeah, I got the chlorine going, so it's good.
I feel like that's not going to help.
We don't take anything serious. We're Florida, man. What am I going to do? I just checked the weather in between my lives, and it looks like at 2 a.m. the water might start going down. But in the meantime, it's going up. The foundation of the house, like all this water is bubbling underneath the foundation. So that's not good. I think that's like how sinkholes happen. The water is smashing up against the window. When I open it, it gets really choppy in here. It's still coming in through the garage. I'm getting annihilated by mosquitoes already.
Why is he there?
Go live on TikTok, oh damn, my light's out there floating around. Whoopsie. Oh, so if that light is floating around, that means the cactus is done for. Man, all those switches, all my light switches are going to get wet. You can see them right now. I got like the smart light switches, and we're going to have to replace all those. That's a bummer. Oh, well, it's a bummer. My buddy Shane, his house got wiped out too, I heard. So that sucks. By the way, if you like
My buddy Shane's house got wiped out too. That sucks. By the way, if you wanted to subscribe,
It's just not like, where is he sleeping?
I don't think he is sleeping.
Wow. Yeah. And then somebody said there's an alligator, like an alligator is just going to come floating by.
Yeah. I mean,
and he'll be like, it's Florida.
It's
It's
Florida. I mean,
Florida.
oh my God, like that. Wow. That is quite positive, or at least not negative.
I'm just going to remind you, you're moving to an area where there are hurricanes.
Yeah. People wonder why we're raised.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mhm.
That right there is why. All right. Before we get to things, because I guess we should mention too, Hoda. I could have played this Hoda clip where she like left her show, or she's going to leave at the
cried.
beginning of next year, crying, and Jenna Bush is crying, and everybody's crying. Al Roker's crying. Everybody's crying. And it was like this hugely emotional thing. And I know she's been there for like decades, but then I was like, I'm not going to play that.
No, it was like 20 something years. Yeah. I thought it was interesting though, because one of the things that she said during her little spiel that she gave was that she never quite connected. I don't know if she said, maybe she didn't say it during the spiel. She may have said it afterwards in another interview, but she never quite connected with Jenna like she did with Kathy Lee.
Really? I thought that they were so tight.
She said, I never quite had that connection with her like I did with Kathy Lee. And I'm like, ouch. Like you say that. Wow. Kind of like you say it. I know, right? I mean, it's kind of like if you and I didn't do the show together, and then there's no way I could never do the show with somebody else. I couldn't do it.
No
there's just no way. But they were super tight, she and Kathy Lee. And then she saw Kathy Lee living this life where she's like doing movies, and she's doing music, and she's doing all these things. And like, she is living her best life now. Kathy
really?
Lee is,
okay.
Right?
My God. I have no idea what she's doing.
Living her best life. And she's like, I want to do that. And she has plenty of money. I mean, Hoda has plenty. So apparently they threw tons of money at her, and she's like, I don't want that. I just want to raise my girls. She's got a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. She's 60 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm just going to go ahead and raise my girls, which is, I think, the smart thing to do. And so she's going to do that. And she's like, I mean, maybe I'll meet a man because she's divorced. Maybe she just wants to go live her life. And I respect that. Go live your life, The
people are like, I guess like huge fans of that show are just up in arms. They're upset. They're like, I'm never watching it again, blah, blah, blah. You know how
they're going to probably replace her with a dude, which I don't know if that's going to work. But
I mean, she's like every other show. Like it's every other.
Right. I totally agree. There's not a lot of just like two chicks doing a show,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they should have asked us to do it. We wouldn't have done it, but
we wouldn't have done it.
But it would have been fun to be asked.
It would be fun to be asked, but I would have been like, can I just do it from here?
No, we can't do
it home.
No, we can't. You and I could never do TV.
You guys, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy world. When you think about our economy, when you think about all the global conflicts, it's a lot. There's a lot going on. And thankfully, if you are nearing or you're thinking about retirement, or maybe you're in retirement already and you worry about how all of these things are going to impact your finances, this is the best time for you to learn about Bulwark's risk management strategy. You can talk to our friend Zach Abraham at Bulwark. He can give you a free risk review, work through what you've got going on in your portfolio right now, tell you if there's things that he would change or do differently. There's no obligation. You can sign up to do that and also get a copy of his free Common Sense Investing Guide by just calling 866-779-RISK or visit him at knowyourriskradio.com.
Advisory services offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. The opinions expressed in this program are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security. Any references to performance of securities are thought to be materially accurate, and actual performance may differ. Investments involve risk and are not guaranteed. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 24308.
Government.
So yeah, check it out. knowyourriskradio.com. All right, let's talk about what Biden and Kamala did yesterday. There was an announcement that Biden made on Twitter early in the day where he said, today, I'll sign an executive order to crack down on emerging firearm threats like unserialized 3D printed guns and machine gun conversion devices. It'll also direct my cabinet to help improve school-based active shooter drills. It's our job to do better.
Yeah.
And then the details emerged, and just like everything else that's governmental, it's pointless and stupid. So essentially it involved, the executive order just creates a new task force. So it's like busy work for some people.
And jobs and more money that we have to spend on people. Yeah,
exactly. And so now this task force is expected to deliver some report within 90 days that talks about what they think about things related to gun safety. So that's the first part. And then they're going to improve school-based active shooter drills. Because why harden schools? That seems like a waste of time.
I'm just so irritated.
Why not just help them deal with all the drills better? I mean, it's so dumb.
Drills are bullcrap. If they really cared about kids in school and keeping them safe, they would not give a bunch of money to Ukraine. They would take all that money and they would put it into they would pour it into our schools. They would harden the schools. They would put metal detectors at every single school. They would have resource officers at every single school, and our schools would be as safe as all the places that these jackholes go to every single day. Why is it that they're better protected than your kids and my kid? Why is that not okay?
It's so stupid. All of this stuff is so stupid and such a waste of time, energy, money, all of it. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And when Biden did his little not a press conference, because I don't think he took any questions, but when they made the announcement in front of the press pool, he got, I think he included every single one of his little tics. He did the, no, I'm not kidding. And he did, no, I'm really serious. And he did the, just think about it. I mean, think about it. You know, he did all of them in like the shortest amount of time. But here he is announcing this executive order. Right here.
I taught constitutional law for years, constitutional law.
No, you didn't.
Never was the Second Amendment meant to be absolute.
Yes, it was.
Back when it was passed, you could not own a cannon. No, I'm not joking. People
I can own a cannon.
You know, the liberty of Americans is water with the blood of patriots. Like hell. I'm serious. Think about it. Think about it.
I'm thinking about it.
It was never absolute. Never, 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 never. It's time we increase funding for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
Yeah, that's what we need. Just throw more money at it. I'm thinking about it, and I want a cannon.
Well, and you could absolutely own a cannon, according to Charles C.W. Cook. He said he's been told this over and over and over again, including by fact checkers who usually bend over backwards to agree with him. And this just shows he cannot learn. He cannot learn what is actually true and untrue, which is why he said, I've taught constitutional law for years.
Yeah, you didn't do that.
He's just such a freaking liar.
You didn't do that. You're a liar, and Kamala's a liar. You guys all lie. And can I get a cannon on eBay? Is that where I can get one? Because I'm seriously like wanting a cannon now. I've got the room here. I think a cannon would be awesome. It'd be great. So Wilma owns a cannon.
See? You can.
We got people here that own cannons. So yeah.
And this whole idea for him to say this was never meant to be like absolute. What is this shall not be infringed mean then?
Well,
I mean, it's like right in there.
They're there. It's baked in. It's baked right in there with the shall not be infringed thing. Right.
I mean, this is not hard. Anyway.
So we need to like change that song that he had, like buy a shotgun. Remember that buy a shotgun song?
Buy a cannon.
Buy a cannon. Buy a cannon. Fire to blast outside the house. Buy a cannon.
Yes, you can own a cannon. He also had lied again when he was talking about JD Vance, because remember how there was the whole fact check of JD Vance saying, well, I mean, these school shootings are a fact of life. And then people took it out of the context that he meant it in, which was like him saying, I don't like that this discussion is a fact of life. And of course, they lie about it. They continue to lie about it. Joe Biden continues to lie about it. And he apparently now believes that JD Vance is part of his cabinet because he called him Secretary Vance, which I don't know.
Okay.
But here
Right. Very blunt. Secretary Vance of Ohio has called these shootings facts of life.
No, he didn't.
Who the hell do these people think they are?
They actually know who they are, and
they're not
a VP candidate, not a secretary.
Not a secretary. Yeah. Why does he scream so much? Get off my lawn!
That's why.
Good. They need to stop letting him go, like outside of his little house in his bedroom with his ice cream. And he needs to stop. He just needs to stop entirely because it's every time he walks outside, it's a disaster.
Well, and still the question is out there. What kind of gun does Kamala actually have? And Jackie Heinrich asked KJP about that yesterday, and KJP did not like this question at all.
What kind of gun does the vice president have, and when did she buy it?
That's something for her office to speak to.
The reason I'm asking is because you have this event today, but the VP, as district attorney, sponsored Proposition H in 2005. It would have banned handguns within San Francisco city limits and required that residents turn in the handguns that they already own by a certain deadline or face mandatory jail time. But she's out on the campaign trail now saying that she's a proud gun owner and is not going to take away your guns. So can the White House get us an answer on that? Because she hasn't, and her campaign officials also haven't answered that question, even on television.
Look, a couple of things here. When it comes to the VP and owning a gun, she can speak for herself. The campaign could speak for that. Her office can speak for that. I'm not. That's for them to speak to.
She's so useless.
It's like every single question is, I'm not going to answer it. I don't think she's answered one single question the whole time she's been in that job. Has she? I can't recall a time where
it'd be tough to find.
Yeah. She's never answered a question. Do you think that she owns a gun? Do you?
I don't know. I mean, maybe her husband has one that's like for show.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that she, I just don't.
It's locked away somewhere and they don't even know what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not. But I can guarantee that by now, somebody has told her, hey, if you ever get asked this, like have a make and model ready to go. Because this is starting to be a thing.
Tell them this is what it is. Yeah.
I just have a feeling that she's going to be ready if she's ever asked. And she probably won't be because journalists don't do their job ever.
Right.
So, you guys, I also have to show you and remind you that if you're not getting your daily allowance of fruits and veggies, there is a way to cheat. And it is this right here, Field of Greens, which is a green powder supplement. You put it in your beverage or a smoothie, or if you're like some sort of weirdo, I guess you could put it in milk. I don't know. I would not.
That's on you.
I personally would not do that.
Some people say vodka, whatever. It's on you. It's on you.
That could work in a mixed drink. It could be very, very tasty. This like kind of purple color right here is my favorite. It's the wild berry. And to me, it tastes like a blueberry drink. The coolest thing about Field of Greens is that they have been approved to be part of a university study that actually is using it to see if this lowers your body's biological age, which I think is really, really kind of neat.
So cool. Yeah.
And they're doing it because Field of Greens has a guarantee whereby if you're using it regularly for say 3 months and then you go back for labs at your doctor's office, they should notice a difference. And if they don't notice a difference, you get your money back. That's how good this stuff is. And it's an organic superfood fruit and vegetable drink. And it is delicious. And that was really going to be the deal breaker for me. I was like, I'll try it. But like, if it tastes like a green powder, which sounds horrible,
right,
I'm not gonna do it. And then I tasted it and I was like, how often a day am I allowed to do this? Because again, I'm always looking for ways to make water taste better, and this certainly does. You can visit FOG, which of course stands for Field of Greens, fogchicks.com, and use code CHICKS. You'll get 15% off your order plus free shipping on your order of Field of Greens. So if you need more fruits and veggies in your life, that is a great way to drink them. It's a great way to drink them. All right, moving on. There was a CNN special that Anderson Cooper did where a bunch of kids were asked about their various thoughts on Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. And I have very mixed feelings about this whole thing because, like, why are we doing this with kids? Why? I just don't like it. I don't like
what you have because you don't like them asking the kids about this. Is that what you don't?
Well, I just. To me, the whole thing was so uncomfortable and obvious that these kids they're just parroting what they've heard from their parents. You know what I mean? They're that young. It's not like these kids have thought through their policy positions on this election. So I just feel like it's super it's kind of
However,
gross.
a couple of them are really disturbing though. Like there was one in particular that was disturbing because they're like, I won't go to somebody's house that is a Donald Trump because they don't like black people. That's disturbing.
Well,
That's
it's the study that they were doing as part of this whole thing uncovered just how rotten the kids of Democrats are when you compare them to the kids of Republicans. And that's a great takeaway.
Yeah.
But there's 4 separate clips here that we can go through. And, some of them are funny because like the way that they rip on Kamala is funny, but then people would also think, that the way they're ripping on Trump is funny. You know what I mean? It just depends on where you sit ideologically. I just don't know how I feel about this whole thing.
What's the first word that pops into your head when you hear the name Kamala Harris?
Liar. What's the first word that pops into your head when you hear Donald Trump?
Pure evil.
Which one do you think is more selfish?
Like selfish? Probably her.
Kamala Harris?
Yeah, because girls are a little bit dramatic sometimes. Donald Trump, he's given his life and his heart.
She even shook hands with Mr. Trump to greet him before the debate, started the debate, which is pretty kind of when you're going against your opponent.
It'd be good for us to have a black woman as president for the first time in history.
Yeah.
But my vote's kind of still on Trump.
The study found that Republican-leaning kids were more open to visiting a Democrat-supporting household. The Democrat-leaning kids were about 5 times more likely to say they would not want to go to a pro-Trump house.
Would they be okay with you going over to somebody's house who was really supportive of President Trump?
No.
No? And why not?
Because they know that he's not like black people, so they will not be happy to see them.
It's not okay.
Would your family let you go over to somebody's house who's really supportive of Donald Trump?
No.
No, they wouldn't?
No.
And why not?
Because, my mom and dad don't like Donald Trump at all. Not a single bit.
Would you be okay going over to somebody's house whose family really likes Kamala Harris?
I think it'd be fine. It's just about the personality of the people.
Donald Trump, he did bad things. He's like Hitler.
Oh my God.
He only wanted to be president so that he can just control everybody.
Trump is supporting January 6th now. I remember that January 6th, it was a bunch of Republicans believing Trump. I feel like they thought Trump was a god. People got arrested. I think one officer died afterwards. That was a big day.
The study found that these Democrat-leaning kids were about 9 times more likely to express negative emotions about Donald Trump than Republican-leaning kids were about Kamala Harris.
Because we're better. Sorry,
yeah,
we're better.
No, I totally agree. And it becomes more about hating the people that are voting for Trump. Because as evidenced by you, I'm not letting you go to that house.
Right.
What the hell is that? And that's what they do in the Middle East, you guys. That's what it reminded me of. It's what they do when they say, don't hate those or hate the Jews. Don't like those people because they're Jewish.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that sounds like hyperbole, but is it? When you tell a kid who is moldable and impressionable and innocent, you're not supposed to like those people. Those people hate you because of the color of your skin, which is a lie. And so you're putting them in this position where they're already conditioned to say, I can't go to that house because they're a Republican. What? That is just, it's craziness. You're teaching them to hate. It's like I've always contended that my daughter never saw skin color until the world got a hold of her. I was so pissed the day where she actually, like for the first time, it was probably when she was, 7 or 8 years old, that she recognized it. You know what I mean? Wasn't because of us. It was because of other freaking stupid people in the world that made her recognize. I hate that, because the world gets a hold of them. And so they learn what you teach them, like you mold them. And obviously those kids are being molded to hate based on a political party. That's so stupid. That's just
especially
so
when that political party has always touted itself as being so openly compassionate and loving and tolerant and all of the things. I mean, it's clear that they are not at all, at all. And it's just, I mean, So I guess, it's interesting study results, but I just hated the whole.
Yeah, I hate it too.
all of it. It was
I hate
just
it
so
too.
icky.
It gives you, it just makes you sick to your stomach.
Yeah, it was just awful. All right. So we need to talk about Eric Adams because this, we obviously told you yesterday that he had been indicted. And so later on in the day, the charges came out, everything was unsealed, the announcement was made. And now, of course, there's a lot of chitter chatter about it. And even yesterday, before we really knew all the details, there were questions. There was like, this seems very suspiciously timed, considering that he was the one that spoke out so much against Biden's immigrant stuff.
Yep.
And so, there a lot of people were questioning, is this payback? What's going on here? And so there's a lot of different angles to get into, but we'll first hear about the charges themselves from the lawyers that actually filed the paperwork and made the announcement.
Today, we are announcing campaign finance, bribery, and conspiracy charges against Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges, Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal, and even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government official and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him. We also allege that the mayor sought and accepted well over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from some of the same foreign actors who arranged many of the illegal campaign contributions. These benefits included free international business class flights and opulent hotel rooms in foreign cities.
I'm bored.
The mayor had a duty to disclose these gifts on his annual public disclosure forms so that the public could see who was giving him what. But as we allege, year after year after year, he kept the public in the dark.
As alleged, the mayor's 2021 campaign falsely certified compliance with campaign finance laws in order to conceal those illegal campaign contributions, and as a result of those false certifications, received over $10 million in public matching funds.
I don't care. Should I care about this? I mean, because
you should, because anytime there's corruption in government,
all right, I should care. Okay, I care. But I mean, I'm pissed off because it's selective moral outrage and selective indictments. Because do the Bidens, do the Clintons, do Pelosi, there's like a gajillion people that have done this for way more than $100,000. So why don't you do them? Do them.
Well, and again, are we going to have Merrick Garland coming out and saying, why don't you trust us? Why? What is it?
I get so tired of this.
What?
Yeah, it's like, why do some people get away with it and then some people don't?
Well, that is a huge question. And that's why there's all the suspicion about the rationale behind all this. So I think two things can be true at the same time. He can be guilty of sin.
Totally.
And also targeted by an angry DOJ, angry Biden for getting in the way of his policies.
Yeah.
So I think both of those things are likely true, but this is what you're seeing on the screen now is just the 5 different counts that included conspiracy to commit wire fraud, actual wire fraud, solicitation of a contribution by a foreign national. I guess there's 2 counts of that, and then bribery. And so those are the counts. And then he, of course, is claiming I'm a target. This is all super unfair. That's what the cover of the New York Post said. So he's saying this is total payback for me complaining about the migrant crisis.
Which is also true.
Which is true.
But you did the things.
But you did the things.
My point is, indict them all.
Exactly.
Indict
Don't
them
just
all.
pick and choose just based on who you're mad at.
Yeah,
right?
I'm like the Elmo meme with the fire in the background. I'm just like, that's how I feel about all this. Just indict them all. Like drain the whole damn swamp. Just drain everything. Indict every single one of these.
Because there's so much corruption.
So much. There's so much. This is just like a tiny bit. And they're like, let's just pick on this guy, which he deserves it. But
so do a million other people.
So many others that have been sucking off the taxpayer teat for decades. And they're so loaded because of it. Oh my God, so loaded. And then they're like, we're just going to turn a blind eye to that person. Why? Why do they get the blind eye? Why? I have questions.
Well, and then a lot of people were saying this is extra super targeted because of some of these costs, right? Or the expenses that he got paid for, the flights, the upgrades, everything was so nickel and dimey throughout the actual filing that it just seemed like you guys are really, really reaching here.
Stretching.
Yeah, it just seemed like a bit of a stretch. And that's what Janine Pirro's point was yesterday on The Five.
Incompetence were the reason to indict a mayor. Bill de Blasio should have been indicted last year. Let me tell you something about the problem with the weaponization of the Department of Justice, which is the department behind this indictment. Once they start weaponizing against political opponents, you then question, even someone like me will question whether or not this is something that was motivated based upon the fact that Mayor Adams was critical of the White House because of the migrants. And I thought the same thing that Donald Trump did last year. Let me tell you something. I was a public official, and you have to sign a disclosure every year. I mean, what did you get a gift for $75? What most of this indictment is about is, instead of economy class, they put them in first class. And you know what? That's worth $15,000. I don't like the straw donors. I don't like the fact that, they got money in, that there was a match in New York City. That's a problem. But this whole thing with the New York City Fire Department, apparently there was a skyscraper and the Turkish consulate wanted to get into the skyscraper and it hadn't yet passed fire safety inspection. So what does Adams do? He says, look, can you move it along? Now, maybe they were about to do it the next day. I don't know. Maybe there was something wrong. I don't know. But you know what? There's a smell to this indictment. And as a DA and a prosecutor, I hate saying it, but it's true.
All right. One more.
Points duly noted. I think she's probably right.
I think she's right. Well, and it speaks to just the nature of the culture right now where we just don't trust anything that our government is doing at all.
And I also believe, like she said, that it is weaponized. Do I think he's a douche canoe? Yeah, totally. Do I think that he did some bad things? Of course he did. But it's selective. It's all selective indictments, selective moral outrage. I'm just so tired of it. And and then Garland will get up on a stage and be like, oh my God, I can't believe you think that we're being selective. Up yours, dude.
I think they think that because Adams is a Democrat, it gives them cover somehow.
No.
But it falls apart when you realize that he has been so outspoken, first of all, not only about the illegals, but also about being pro-Israel.
Right.
And so those are two things that I don't think this administration looks favorably upon.
Yeah, it's like you're not towing the line. Off with your head.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jesse Kelly tweeted this. He said the DOJ has so destroyed the trust of the American people that they can indict the Democrat mayor of Democrat-run New York. And most of us are all like, yeah, this is revenge for something. Wonder what the real story is. And
exactly.
That's the problem. That is
it's a huge problem. It's like we need a clean house and drain the swamp in so many places, including the DOJ.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, do they ever need a clean out? But back to the charges, there is some sketch stuff going on for sure. So the mayor placed several Turkish agents in various positions inside of his administration in exchange for tens of thousands of dollars in bribes from the Muslim Brotherhood-tied Turkish government. Of course, that's not good.
Nope.
And there was this weird thing where his senior staffer, during an interview with the FBI, excused herself to go to the bathroom, and while there she deleted the messaging app that she used to communicate with the mayor and the Turkish agents who had been bribing him. So that, of course, does not look good.
Well, what do we think that Zelensky's doing?
Oh my God, of course.
I mean, it's like that to me is just like one big giant bribe. He's basically like, oh, I endorse Kamala for president. And then they turn around and give him like billions of dollars of our money. What is that not a bribe? I mean, I feel like what's the difference? I don't see what the difference is. Somebody's gonna have to explain this to me in child terms because I don't see I feel like that's indictable, isn't it? Because that's my money. That's mine. That's your money. It's so irritating, all of this. And then they're gonna clutch their pearls and be like, oh my God, what this mayor did is so terrible. He should
It's AOC saying he needs to resign.
God, shut up. Take all the seats.
There was also this weird thing where part of the indictment, apparently he had like a whole bunch of different phones, and then he had changed his personal cell phone code, the little passcode that you can set to open it. He had changed it from a 4-number code to a 6-number code. And then when they took the phone from him, he said he couldn't remember the 6-number code and he'd forgotten it. And the only reason that he had reset it is because he wanted to make sure that nothing by his staff got inadvertently deleted. Like, it's all so shady.
So sketch.
So freaking shady.
God.
So I think it was Martha McCallum who had Andy McCarthy on to talk about the charges and how either flimsy they are or how good they are. So here is Andy on that.
Some people who've looked at these, Andy, and I know you've just laid out how thorough it is, question whether or not how serious some of this is, that it's not unusual, you just heard his attorney, for a consulate to call the mayor's office and ask if they can expedite something for them, claims his attorney, and that it's not unusual to get upgrades on flights and hotels.
Well, that didn't sound like a defense. That sounded more to me like mitigation, those comments. I mean, he really wasn't asking them. He wasn't asking them to, do a favor to put me on the top of the pile. He was basically saying, approve a high-rise building that can't pass its safety inspection. And I think the big thing here, Martha, with respect to all the people you talked about, is these are officials that are very close to Adams, a number of whom are cooperating with the investigation.
Interesting.
Why was she borrowing Stephanie Rule's outfit for that segment? Why did she do that?
I didn't even notice that. I was too busy thinking her hair looked really nice.
Yeah, it does look nice. But her outfit was Stephanie Rule's actual dress.
Oh my gosh. The dress that she's worn now in two different interviews.
Yeah. We're watching you, Stephanie.
Somebody made a fantastic point about New York and their elections. So Harrison Crank said, if this happens, if he has to resign, New York City will not have voted for their mayor, their governor, or their nominee for president.
God.
Can you believe that?
Democracy. I cannot.
And then it was so funny. I found this clip yesterday and I died laughing because I didn't know this about Eric Adams. But you know how we always make fun of Joe Biden for like claiming to be a part of a bazillion different countries, cultures? Like, I grew up.
He's Puerto Rican.
He's all the things.
Mm-hmm.
So Eric Adams does the same thing, only not about himself, but about the city of New York City. And it's the montage. I was just like, oh my God, he does this all the time. You're going to crack up at this. Look.
Everyone knows that New York City is the Athens of America. It's the Istanbul of America. It's the keys of America.
Oh my
soul
God.
of America. We are the Tel Aviv of America. New York City is the Islamabad of America. The Zagreb of America. We are the Lima of America.
Oh
New
my
York
God.
City is Mexico City of America. This is the Dublin of America, New York City.
I mean, it's so embarrassing.
Dude, stop it. God, they are so pandery, aren't they?
Right? I mean, it's
like they get a little like handbook when they start being politicians. Like, this is what you have to do. You have to pander to all these people. Okay, check. Got it. Got it. Good Lord.
Oh my gosh. All right, let's pause for some thank yous. Over on Locals, Audrey Krause said, I guess I got the best of Hoda Kotb before she retired.
Is that how you say it? Is that
how
do you say her name? You guys, I know it's hard for you to like do some like the actual phonetics.
Yeah, because people are just going to write her name.
Right. I don't know how you tell me that when you write it, but
I think actually Kotb is the way.
Is it
Kotb?
There's so many consonants. She's got to buy a vowel. She has a lot of money now. Buy a vowel.
Yeah, I think it's Kotb. I was part of her 60th birthday bash in New York City this past August, and she gave a free trip to all the 60-year-olds that were part of the show. It was so exciting.
Oh my gosh. So generous.
That's super cool.
That's lovely.
Over on Venmo, Marilyn Ayres says, "Good morning, beautiful chicks. The timing of the Eric Adams indictment is also suspicious because of his connection to P. Diddy. He gave him the key to the city and has attended Diddy parties. Kanye has said Diddy is an FBI informant. Draw your own conclusions."
Interesting. Dun, dun,
Very
dun.
interesting. And then from right here on YouTube, Bill from Texas says, "Happy birthday to me. I'm heading out to my 50th class reunion / homecoming game, so I'll have to keep you in my pocket for later. Some cleavage would make a great present."
Well, you're going to have to buy that. I mean, I can't help you. Maybe Ma can help you. I can't really help you in that department. It's
there you go.
The only time I can help you is the 9 months I was pregnant, and that's it.
Jose Rodriguez says, "Morning from Texas, chicks. We all know Daisy wants a cannon to keep her big balls in." Take money.
So true.
And Dan Zimmerly, thank you, Dan, says, "I was brought up that we shouldn't judge someone by the color of their skin, so I don't do that. And it makes me angry to see society put such a focus on it now, causing division. MLK is rolling over."
Aren't you? I mean, I totally 150% agree. I just don't get it's melanin. Who cares?
I know. It's so dumb. I remember when Jackson was itty bitty and he was like probably in kindergarten and had just started to notice that like, hey, these kids don't look like me. Not everybody looks like me.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I would ask him about the friends that he would play with at his kindergarten, he would come back and he would be like, "Well, I played with so-and-so and then I played with so-and-so has white skin and so-and-so has brown skin." So he would just tell me like it was just a matter of fact, like he was trying to help me visualize them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it never meant anything. It was just like noticing somebody's shirt and the color of their shirt.
And I saw a thing yesterday, which I thought was awesome. I need to put it on our Instagram. It was George Carlin talking about, remember George Carlin? God,
yeah.
You know, I mean, I know some people probably hated him, but he just said it like it was.
Oh,
and
yes,
he
did.
And he did a whole bit on skin color and how like the whole people of color thing. He thought it was so dumb because white people are also people of color because Mock is a completely different color than I am. You know, it's like we all are different shades of color. And so it's so stupid. And Black people aren't really Black. You know, they are like different shades of brown and like, or some of them are like, I know there are white people that are browner than some Black people, you know, Black people. So, I mean, he does a whole bit on it and it's just fantastic. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's so dumb. We're all people of color. We're all different shades of whatever. And so I wish everybody would just shut up about it, you know?
Yeah, but it's a grift. And so they won't.
It is.
They won't. Lara Logan, I have to share this tweet with everybody from Lara Logan, which was not the only account that was reporting this horrific news, but we've all known for several days now that Iran has basically, they've got a hit out on Trump, right? And so now apparently his plane is the next target for assassination. And this is not just according to Lara, but according to, I saw this everywhere. 9 heat-seeking surface-to-air missiles have been smuggled into the U.S. for this purpose. And there are 3 kill teams already inside the country. Trump has been informed, which is why we shared his tweet about this yesterday. And so have the U.S. intel agencies and other authorities. Money has been transferred to a cartel to push this over the border. These people are cornered and vicious. They will stop at nothing, which... Yikes. I mean, that is
so a lot of that has to do with the fact that we have a porous border. Like it's wide and not porous. It's just wide freaking open. So we can thank this current administration for that. So if anything happens to this man, it's on this administration. It's their fault.
Then what will happen? They'll just take power again and no one faces any consequences.
I feel like there's going to be some unrest.
Yeah.
Just my prediction there.
Because I don't know how people just tolerate this.
No,
this is crazy.
At this point, there's been 2 assassination attempts and people on the left just don't give a crap. And I think people on the right are starting to be like, this is not okay. In any other America that I've lived in, because this is not the America I grew up in.
Yeah.
This is not how we deal with this stuff. It's just not. And if something happens to this man on their watch, it's their fault and people will not.
If
It's
this
not
is
going to be tolerated.
if this is like a super legit and verified thing, then they should be, anytime Trump Force One is in the air, there needs to be fighter jets around it. I mean, if this is actually the case and our government knows about it, they need to be doing everything to protect.
Well, they shouldn't be going on the freaking View talking about how he's still like he should be squashed like a bug. That's what they shouldn't be doing. And that's precisely what they're doing. So this administration doesn't give a shit about this guy. They want him to be gone. They've given they've told us flat out loud, we want him gone. I mean, I've seen nothing else that indicates otherwise. Have you?
I mean, Gina Raimondo just yesterday said he needed to be extinguished once and for all.
They have not changed their discourse at all. Everything, they have not lowered the temperature.
Right.
So if anything happens to him, it's on them.
Yep. Also, just to show you just how strong our government is, how strong of a leader President Biden is, he and Macron have gotten together to release a sternly worded statement
Oh my God.
Directed at Israel, essentially saying it's time for a ceasefire. It's time for a settlement on the Israel-Lebanon border that ensures safety and security to enable civilians to return to their homes. And it is interesting. A.L. Yacobi said, why does the statement not mention Hezbollah once? Why wasn't this issued at any point during the past 11 months when Hezbollah shot over 9,000 rockets at Israel? Why is it always on Israel to be the ones to keep the peace or to get the peace? They've always wanted peace. That's all they've ever wanted.
And you know that the people over there are just like, oh, thanks for your letter.
Right?
Your sternly worded letter. It's probably not even sternly worded. It's just, you know what I mean?
It's really
like,
not.
Thanks for your cute little letter. We appreciate that.
And so they're
ballless
saying
losers.
this statement that we've negotiated is endorsed by all these other countries. So see,
Okay.
that means business.
Yeah. This late in the game, like it's almost been a year that they've had hostages and they've killed so many of them. They don't care about your stupid letter. These are terrorists. They don't care.
And the fact that there are still people out there who put so much blame on Israel is infuriating. And Elika Laban was on Piers Morgan. This runs a little bit long, but it's worth every single second of it because she has a way of putting things like nobody else and just is awesome in this clip.
Let me ask Elika Laban.
I condemn everything that has been caused by the jihadists, and this is not my opinion. This is based on causal reasoning. You kidnap people and you take them to a different place. What other option does a sovereign nation have but to return its citizens? And when the jihadists bury themselves wherever they are, whether they're in Lebanon, whether they're in Gaza, whether they're in Iran, whether they're in Syria, they are making the people of that nation, the people they are burying themselves amongst, vulnerable to being killed in this way. So yes, I absolutely condemn those deaths, and I absolutely blame the jihadists for that. And first of all, to go back to this claim that Hezbollah never started this war, from the 8th of October, started launching, by this point, over 11,000 rockets into Israel. 96,000 people in northern Israel have been displaced. 10% of Israel's landmass has been depopulated. Civilians are out of their homes. Children are out of their schools. In the final instance, where there is a precision strike on Hezbollah terrorists, why did they do that? Because the commanders, the leaders of Hezbollah had a plan to attack northern Galilee and do a second October 7th, kidnap hostages with a ground invasion. Now you tell me, what should Israel do? Just bend over and keep accepting it? None of these things are acceptable to you people. Targeted strikes, unacceptable. Pages, unacceptable. What is acceptable to stop these terrorists from persistently and belligerently attacking Israel? And to make the claim, first of all, to make the claim that they are doing this on behalf of the Palestinians is absolutely outrageous. You want to say that, oh, we're fighting for the Palestinians because of the occupation in this oppressive military state. What about Hezbollah's oppressive military state? What about Hezbollah's state within a state that has undermined Lebanon's sovereignty? What about the fact that Hezbollah goes to Syria and massacres people on behalf of Assad? What about the fact that Hezbollah goes to Iran and massacres, rapes innocent Iranians? So why don't we just say that everything that Israel's doing is in behalf of the innocent Iranians, the innocent Syrians, and the innocent Lebanese. You know why you don't say that? Because it sounds absolutely ridiculous. It is a red herring. It is a red herring to claim that Hezbollah is acting on behalf of Palestinians when what they're doing is exactly what they said in their charter, which the Islamic Republic created them for, which is to create a second Islamic Republic in Lebanon and to destroy Israel. That is their goals. It is time to be honest about that.
Yeah. Suck it.
I love her.
I know I do too. God.
So good.
Preach
so
it,
good.
girl.
Going back to Ukraine, JD Vance was, we know Zelensky was here and he criticized openly in America JD Vance and Trump.
Oh my God.
And just unacceptable, completely unacceptable. So JD Vance was asked about that at a rally yesterday.
Detailed a plan that would end the Ukrainian war in a podcast that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky called too radical. I want to give you the floor to respond to that. How do you respond to what Zelensky said? And can you detail how a Trump-Vance administration would end the war in Ukraine?
Well, look, the details for how Donald Trump is going to end the war in Ukraine is by not being weak and not being dumb, which is unfortunately something you can't say for the current administration. It's very simple. Russia didn't invade a single one of their neighbors for the 4 years that Donald Trump was president. And on the president before him and the president after him, somehow Russia keeps on invading their neighbors. It's because they don't respect American leadership and because our leaders aren't smart. So what Donald Trump brings back is not just strength, but intelligence to the Oval Office. And I think that's really all you need to end this war. Because look, it is not in America's interest. It's not in Ukraine's interest. It's not in Europe's interest for this war to go on indefinitely. Now, you said that Zelensky criticized something I said. First of all, that's not a plan. That's me talking about one possible scenario for how this thing might ultimately end. But look, I don't appreciate Zelensky coming to this country and telling the American taxpayers what they ought to do. He ought to say thank you to the American taxpayers.
Yeah, you're damn right he should. F him, man.
Change.
F that guy.
I
F
know.
him. I mean, he is the ultimate grifter. What a piece of crap Zelensky is. How dare you come over here and insult any of us? Like one person. Vance gives you money too, you prick. Like we all give you money. The last thing he should be doing is insulting one American, any Americans, because we all supply him with money. Like he's rich because of us. This guy, what a piece of crap. I can't. And the fact that our president has a flag at the same position as the American flag on his lapel, it just makes me sick to my stomach. I can't with these people. Enough with the money. Enough with this guy.
Well, and maybe I'm misreading this. Okay. You guys will watch it and tell me what you think. But Trump is going to be meeting with Zelensky today. And in fact, it's going to be happening in about an hour. They're going to be meeting. And when Trump was talking about meeting him, like he was talking about this happening yesterday, and he was basically giving this preview. And then he started to say that things are so bad in Ukraine and people are dying. And to me, I heard it like he was softening towards Zelensky, and I didn't like it. But I could be misreading it because this is a very short clip. So you listen and tell me what you think.
You know, President Zelensky is asked to meet with me, and I will be meeting with him tomorrow morning at around 9:45 in Trump Tower. And it's a shame what's happening in Ukraine. So many deaths, so much destruction. It's a horrible thing. And
I mean, that's it, right? But I was just like, why is he saying that? What's going on? What's he getting ready for?
I don't know if he's softening, with respect to we're going to throw more money at them. I don't think he's doing that. I think that he genuinely hates war. I think Trump hates war, and he doesn't want it. And he just, I mean, you've heard him in other interviews where he's just like, I don't want people to die.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that. I'm going to go with that perspective.
Yeah. And I think that's the perspective you should go with, because I honestly think that's where his heart is there. And that's where his head is. He doesn't like it. And I don't either. None of us should want that. Why is it that the Democrats are so hungry for it now? We should all question them and their stability in wanting this. Yep. And Trump is just not there. He's like, we need to stop it. for the people. It's like this. Why do we want this to continue? It's the whole military industrial complex. They're just like rooting this on. F that, man.
I will be so interested to hear how that meeting goes.
Yeah.
I'm just dying to know.
Yeah,
how it
no
goes.
more money is right, Gina. No more money. So tired of
Well,
this
then
crap.
you're not going to like this clip.
First, right now we have to strengthen Ukraine's position on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And that's why today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of
Are you
security
proud?
assistance.
You proud of that?
I've also directed the Pentagon to allocate all the remaining security assistance funding that has been appropriated to Ukraine, period, by the end of my term, which is January 20th.
That's nice that you're proud of that. That's really nice. Meanwhile, our schools are soft targets. Do not get on a stage and bitch and moan about how, oh my God, gun control, safety. Our kids are soft targets in schools because you're allowing that to happen. You could solve that today, but you continue to send money to these other countries because you don't care about America. I don't want to hear it from these people. I don't want to hear it.
And why is this so falling so heavily on America's shoulders and not more so on Europe? I will never understand.
It's a great question.
The like not being level, right?
It's
It impacts them far much more. And so the allocation or the help that they get should be far much more from Europe. And
Well,
it's always us.
You know who would ask that question is Trump. He's asked that question in the past. When he was president before, he would ask that question. Why are we taking the brunt of this responsibility? Y'all need to pay your fair share. You know, Democrats always talk about fair share. Well, they need to do that.
And we actually know what that share is. Like that has been set out in the NATO, whatever. Like that, the rules are you do 2% of your GDP for NATO. It's not like that's a mystery. That's the fair share. Everybody knows the number. And there's like 3 countries that are meeting it.
Yep. And he'd call them out. Remember when he did that?
Yeah.
And embarrass the crap out of them. Do that again. Yep. Why is it so hard for Biden and Kamala to do that now? Why is it so hard? Because they're pansies. They're weak. They're pathetic.
And they care more about having like good friendships with Macron and freaking Justin Trudeau and all the other losers.
At the expense of us. Get back to work, suckers. I mean, that's what we do, right? We just work so these people can take our money and act like they're benevolent and be buddy-buddy with all these people, all these grifters from other countries. Meanwhile, we suffer. It's not okay.
It's not okay. It's been a while since we talked about the storyline of Haitian illegals eating cats and dogs. It's been a while. But ever since then, you know, we've got the mainstream media who's saying that's totally debunked. There's no evidence to suggest that they're doing that. We've also got people from Haiti who are creating TikToks and other social media videos saying, I'm from there, and that's actually part of Haitian voodoo, and it's not uncommon. So my point is, believe what you want about the cats and dogs, but there is this new video of a Haitian official speaking at the UN. And just to point out how different, I guess, Haitians are culturally, this was a sight to behold.
Okay.
Respect for its dignity.
I mean,
so
there's a glass right next to it, and you just pour the water. You don't drink out of the pitcher. Okay, this is not hard. This is basic civilization.
It was like a frat kid, like at a bar. Let me just have the whole pitcher of margaritas. Screw it. Come on.
I just like, what is even happening?
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, but what you saying that is somebody's gonna go, you're racist.
Yeah, whatever.
You're racist.
The xenophobe. Okay.
He was drinking out of the pitcher.
And he couldn't even do that right. Like, I mean, he was spilling it all over
his suit. What's going? That was crazy, you guys. But this is the thing. Like, you do see people who are from that area say, "Listen, they don't know what they don't know." Because it's a cultural thing. You know, if they are eating cats or dogs or whatever, they eat cats. If they eat cats, they eat cats. Like, why? It's not racist to say that. This is what I don't understand. Why are people so bent out of shape about this? Like, some cultures are different than other cultures. doesn't matter like what their skin color is or whatever. If your culture's different, your culture's different. I mean, I know that like my kids, I have not traveled around the world as much as my kids, but our older kids, man, they have traveled a lot and they've been to a lot of places all over the world. Right. And I know like our oldest daughter, she's been to like Thailand, and she will tell me, I've been to this place. I hated this place because I don't like the culture there. Or I love this place because I like the culture. Or but she tells me all about these different places they've been, and like cultures are different, you guys.
And some are better than others, and I stand by that.
Exactly. You should stand by it because it's true. It's 100% true. And for people to deny that fact, it's just stupid. You're just ignorant. Stop it.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. A couple more clips from Melania's interview with Disney Princess that were interesting because she was talking about what her husband wants for the country. I think the question was like, do you really want to do this again? Like, why do you guys want to do this again? Here's Melania.
Do this again. All he wants to, as he says, make America great again. He wants to make this country prosperous, safe, for everybody. He wants to make American dream possible again. What was the country is suffering. People are not able to buy usual necessities for the families. We have wars going on around the world. Soldiers are dying. They were dying under this administration because of weak leadership. The border is open and dangerous. A lot of fentanyl is coming over, killing our youth. If we compare these 4 years under this administration compared to 4 years under my husband as commander-in-chief, he was leading the country through peace through strength, and the border was safer than ever before. We didn't have any wars. People were prospering. They had jobs. They could support their families. So I think American people need to decide what they really want. Maybe some, strong tweets, but everything else great for this country.
She is flawless.
I know, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It really is. God, we need to get her on our show. Melania, come on our show.
For real. Tweet
Seriously.
at Melania. Does she tweet?
Everybody, yeah, you guys tweeted her. Tell her to come on our show. I would love to talk to her.
JD Vance, before his glow up, just looked so doughy before, like the way he looks right now. And there is this clip that's super interesting in hindsight because this is from 2019. And he is actually talking about how awful it would be for Kamala to be president.
The person that I least want to see as president is Kamala Harris. It's almost impossible to imagine a person whose combination of sort of cultural liberalism and elitism less aligns with my own politics.
That's amazing.
I know, right?
That is just a remarkable clip.
I just thought that was crazy.
It's almost as if Obama saw that and he was like, neener. Right. We're going to put her there just to piss JD Vance off. You know what I mean?
Man, he looks so different
now.
now.
He's had a total glow up. He really has. Mm-hmm.
Totally. Drew Pinsky, Dr. Drew, was on the Gutfeld show making fun of Kamala's tics on that Stephanie Rule interview.
But the interesting thing about Kamala, she has these crazy tics, which remind me of a little kid running to mom to show them what they did. I have holistic and equity, right? And it's the weirdest thing to watch somebody do and then repeat it 4 or 5 times. Yeah. It's unsettling. And then it's all childlike. The idea you mentioned it, fairness.
Yeah.
That is a developmental stage that children go through around age 5 or 6. So paying your fair share, I hope we're not a country where we relate to that kind of fairness.
Yes.
It is a primitive idea.
Yeah. Well, this is what liberals want though, right?
I mean,
but they can't, like you always say, they can't say, what's your fair share? What is the fair share, Bernie? What is it? What's the percentage? Can you put, like, what's the data point on that? Can you tell me what a fair share is? I can't tell you, Daisy. Fair share.
Your neck of the woods. We've got this huge Senate race between Ted Cruz and Colin Allred, which should not be close, and yet here we are.
Guys, it pains me.
A PAC put together a really, really good ad against Colin Allred that I thought y'all would enjoy.
And the ball. That's okay. Concentrate. You got this. Let's do it again.
Texas girls are tough, resilient, and strong. But now, they're facing an opponent they can't beat by digging deeper or trying harder. Colin Allred claims to stand for the women of Texas, but he voted against the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act of 2023. He stood with woke progressives and radical Democrats, not our daughters. What kind of man does that?
Truth and Courage PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This guy is dangerous. And he won't say that he is a Democrat. And anybody who won't stand by what they are and who they are, do not trust them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's a good ad. Really, really good ad.
It's a great ad. Mm-hmm.
There is a potential strike of folks working on the ports, like the entire Eastern Seaboard. The people that are responsible for actually bringing goods into our country that we all use every single day. They have until, I guess, Tuesday to sort out whatever the strike is that they're participating in. These workers want like a 77% raise. And I maintain I cannot stand union fights like this.
Yeah,
they make me absolutely rage.
Me too.
And
but this is kind of a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
This is a big deal, you guys.
Nobody's talking about it enough, but there was a great montage put together about this where you see one of the Squawk Box people hammering Mayor Pete on this issue. Like, what are you guys doing about it, essentially? Yeah. And so if you haven't heard about this before, you need to ask yourself why the administration isn't talking about it. That's a huge question. But shit's about to go down for real.
Yep.
And it will affect every last one of us. Here, take a look.
Strike of the Longshoremen's Union. Taking a look at what would happen October 1st is the deadline. These are unions that represent half of the ocean imports to this country.
Useless.
More than 45,000 workers at 36 different ports across the East and Gulf coasts might walk off the job next Tuesday.
The ILA most definitely will hit the streets on October 1st if we don't get the kind of contract we deserve.
And President Biden has said he will not invoke a national law to prevent them from going on strike. If they do, we've already been talking this morning about what that could mean to inflation in the supply chain.
Right now, that port traffic from those sites brings in about 20 million containers a year, or basically 55,000 containers per day.
Consider what a week-long East and Gulf Coast strike could do. It could reduce the national gross domestic product by $4.5 to $7.5 billion.
I think in this case, the East Coast and Gulf Coast workers are seeking a 77% increase. Does that sound like a reasonable situation to you?
Quite frankly, a wage increase like that is going to send shockwaves into the pocketbooks of every single family. The bigger question is, why isn't the Biden-Harris administration trying to do anything about this? They should be getting involved now. That's what presidential leadership looks like. And the fact that they're going to sit on the sidelines and watch is frankly reminiscent of the rest of their economic policy.
Biden called me up on the phone, President Biden. Harold, I got the money to build a new bridge. I go, oh. What about my longshoremen's out of work now? They didn't cause no problem. Well, he goes, I got the money for building a new bridge and getting the bridge that's in the water out of there. I ask you one more time, President, what about the men whose families now have no money coming in? Well, you know, if there was an explosion on a ship, maybe I can get the money.
You're talking about a $5 billion per day impact to the American economy. That's not going to be helpful to families who are already falling behind because of the massive inflation brought to us by Kamala Harris and Joe Biden.
Yeah, he doesn't care about the longshoremen. He cares about Ukraine. Don't you understand? Can't you see? And listen, you can't eat hope and change? You can't feed your family joy? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, somebody said what I was absolutely going to say. This isn't just about getting your shipment from
Temu.
From Temu. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
this is way bigger than that. This is about getting daily goods, medications. This is about literally every product that we use in our daily lives. So stock up. Like, don't panic, but also stock up because and then that union boss was such an asshole.
He is.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of them are. It's like, we deserve this. We're entitled. There's such an entitlement mentality.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's like, gimme 77% raise. Are you freaking kidding me? I know. But at the same time, it's like, he actually thinks that this administration is going to care about American workers and unions have historically voted for Democrats. You're idiots. You're total idiots thinking that they care. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. Just like a lot of minorities feel like Democrats care about them. They don't care about you. They don't. Can't you see that now?
And it feels like union bosses like that guy always think that it's somehow their contract is the reason for their woes. They don't get paid enough because of their negotiations. No, everybody is hurting. And so when the entire economy is hurting and they then decide, well, we should get more because our people, our union people are hurting, well, then do what everybody else is doing, which is get a second job or go find a different job. It impacts everybody, not just union workers, who 77% is freaking bananas.
Right.
And it just makes me so mad.
Or suck it up and realize that a lot of the problems that we have right now is because of the administration that's in power and making everything suck. And vote the right way, asshat. I mean, this is the thing. We are all hurting together because of a lot of the policies that are in place. And I don't think they realize that. And a lot of these people are like, I'm going to continue to vote the same way I voted forever and ever because this is what my dad told me to do. And I'm union. And it's like, you can't continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. And then just like, I don't know, put a proverbial gun to people's head and say, you got to give me more money. We don't have it. We don't.
Yeah, where's it supposed to come from?
We don't have, like, we're out of money, dude. Like, we're broke now. A lot of us are struggling and we can't give that. Sorry, we don't have it. I mean, we're too busy giving it to Ukraine. So I don't know where it's like blood from a turnip. Hello.
This is going to be a long show, I think. Yeah, because we still have quite a bit to get to. Wanted to show just this video that was super interesting about Thomas Massie. I'm not sure when this is from, but it doesn't matter because what he's talking about is an endless problem, and it has been a problem. And it really drove home for me how ridiculous this whole, well, all the lawsuits against Trump are ridiculous, but the one in particular about the E. Jean Carroll, this really puts a whole different spin on it when you think about the fact that we are paying for the sexual misconduct cases that are taking place in Congress to be covered up and silenced. We're paying for that. Check this out.
You can't make this up.
So, Congress has paid over $17 million in hush money for sexual misconduct inside of the offices in these buildings. What? And what's more is that was taxpayer money. Right?
Yeah.
The allegation is that President Trump paid $130,000 of his own money. But here in Congress, there may be some on this dais. I mean, I'm for turning loose all of these records. Who in here has had the taxpayer pay for their sexual misconduct charges the hush money?
Massie.
I bet there's some over there. There may be some over here. I don't know. But I do know it's taxpayer money. And I do know not a single penny of it has been turned in as a campaign finance expense.
Yeah.
Is the FEC going to investigate the $17 million that the Congress has paid to settle, behind closed doors, these sexual misconduct allegations?
Who's going to jail? Who's going? You go to jail and you go to jail. You go to jail. Like, I seriously.
That makes me so mad.
And this is the thing. It's like Adams. Like, we're talking about Adams earlier, and it's like, this guy, he's so bad. He's just, I mean, he is bad. He's not a good guy. I'm not going to be friends with the guy, right? I mean, he seems like a total, like, but he doesn't seem like a good guy. But all these, a bunch of degenerates, right? Mr. Protractor, bunch of degenerates, and we're paying for them. Like, I mean, it's like they're no better. And they're all like, I'm judging Adams. I'm judging him. I'm touching. Right. But I just had this whole sexual thing. Just ignore that. And just pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. I mean, these people are so gross. And
the fact that we've paid for that just makes me sick to my stomach.
You guys all get back to work, okay?
God.
You have to pay for all these things.
You guys, Nathan Wade is missing.
Lover boy Nathan Wade is missing. The House Judiciary Committee, which is investigating Georgia DA Fani Willis, needs Wade to testify at a hearing tomorrow on their love affair. But no one can find the guy. They're trying to serve him, but he's flown the coop, and now the U.S. Marshals are in a manhunt to track him down. Have they checked the condo?
I was going to say, have they checked her house? Is he like tied up to a bedpost at her house somewhere?
Anyway, that's happening. FYI.
Our world.
I know,
it's
right?
Just, every day, it just gets crazier and crazier.
And this absolutely cracked me up. So Diddy's defense is trying to say that the reason that they had 1,000 bottles of baby oil is because he buys in bulk at Costco. This is their actual excuse.
I can't.
For having that. And so what I love, that happened a couple days ago, but then yesterday, Costco was like, we don't sell baby oil.
I cannot with this. I can't. Oh my! Again.
I mean, you just can't.
The hits just keep on coming. We don't sell baby oil. Definitely not in bulk because you nasty.
I mean,
nasty.
can you believe that is the?
They're having a
that's
fight.
What they went with. Well, we just obviously a lot of people buy a lot of things in bulk, and that's what we do at Costco.
I mean, don't you buy 1,000 things of baby oil? Don't you do that, you guys?
And I love that Costco's like, you don't get to use us. I'm sorry.
So we're leaving the chat. Okay, we're totally leaving, and you are nasty.
Oh my God, that was great. Okay, so some weird things going down with OpenAI, and I think it's is it Steve Altman? Let me see what my little screenshot says. It's something Sam. It's Sam Altman, not Steve. Sam Altman. So this was really interesting. This fellow posted because apparently OpenAI was given $50 million from Elon Musk way back in the day when it was going to be a nonprofit. Remember, he was involved in that, and then he got out because he was like, I don't like where this is going.
He was like, AI is terrible. Burn it with fire. I'm out. Yeah.
But also he wanted it. He just wanted it to be controlled in a good way.
Right.
And so he got out. He's still working on his XAI. And now they're talking about making this a for-profit company and giving Sam Altman 7% stake in this for-profit transition. And so this is super, super sketch because it means that there's not going to be anybody who's perfecting this and you know, making it progress further that doesn't have a financial rationale to do it. Like it used to be people wanted to do it because it was going to be great for humanity. Even Sam Altman himself tried to say that. And now it's such bullshit. He clearly is just money hungry. And you're going to see an example of that in a second. But Elon was recently at, he was speaking to an audience about the different AI companies, what they're doing and what he intends to do differently.
The concern I have, and this may seem like a small concern, but I think it's actually a very big issue, is that they are not maximally truth-seeking. They are pandering to political correctness. To give you an example, when Google Gemini came out, one of the questions people asked it would be, which is worse, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner or global thermonuclear warfare? And it said misgendering Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh my God.
Now the funny thing is, you know, even Caitlyn Jenner said, "Please misgender me. That is way better than nuclear war." So okay, but if you've got an AI that has been trained so hard for political correctness, and really to make crazy statements like that, And OpenAI has a similar issue. It's more subtle, but it's a similar issue. I think that's extremely dangerous because the AI could conclude, well, the best way to avoid misgendering would be to destroy all humans. Then misgendering is impossible. God. So you can think of some dystopian outcomes there. I think the safest thing for AI, be maximally truth-seeking, even if the truth is unpopular.
Yes.
Very important. And then I think another factor is it must be extremely curious. I think if it is truth-seeking and curious, that will be most beneficial to humanity because it will want to see, I think it will want to foster humanity and see how humanity develops if it is curious and truth-seeking. That is, like I said, these may seem perhaps like small things, but I think they're actually very big things. And I wasn't seeing that happen. The AIs they're being trained basically to lie. And I think it's very dangerous to train superintelligence to be deceptive. So with XAI, our goal is really want to be as truth-seeking as possible, even if it is unpopular. That is important. I think extremely important.
Do you know?
So it's going to be like dueling AIs. You're going to have like the truth, and then you're going to have left-wing AI, right?
And once again, it's up to Elon Musk to basically prevent the world from disaster.
This is the thing. But we're going to have like left-wingers going to the left-wing AI, and you're going to have us going to the truth. This is our world. What in the heck?
I know,
right?
It's freaking crazy. And then on Joe Rogan, Tom Segura was on Joe Rogan, and they were talking about Sam Altman and what he drives. I have never even heard of this freaking car you guys watch.
Sam Altman, the head of OpenAI, he's always kind of said, I'm not doing this for money. I don't make any money.
Evil.
And they just busted him in a $4 million Koenigsegg. See if you can find that car.
What?
Oh, I don't need money. But money? I'm not even interested in money. He's driving around a $4 million Koenigsegg. There he is. Hi, busted.
Hey, bro.
Hey, bro. I think you like money. You have a $4 million car, and you're involved in artificial intelligence. Like, you don't buy one of those unless you really want to get rich.
Yeah.
You mentioned
I didn't even know that anybody made a $4 million car.
This is what I'm saying. What the hell is a Koenigsegg? Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it either. Yeah. This guy, that's terrifying that guy
it really
is like, he's all about the money, and he's young and he looks evil. He needs to just grow one of those mustaches that twirls. And
he also has a vocal fry, which anytime a guy has it, I mean, it's bad enough on girls, but when a guy has it, ew.
God, so
Extra
bad.
Ew.
So bad. Somebody's English and the beauty of language said it's a metal penis. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Bingo.
Speaking of Elon, Mark Cuban, and the reason for my name today, Mark Cuban is such a bruh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
such a tool.
Douche. He's very douchey. He's very much of a tool. Yeah.
God.
Right.
So he and Elon have been spatting because now Mark Cuban is a huge Kamala supporter. And he's rabidly supporting her.
He's a white dude for Kamala. He's a white dude.
Yeah. And we're we'll show you in a minute why it's sounding like he is throwing his full throttled support behind her. But he's such a Chad. Like the way that he talks to, oh God, what's the name of that? Theo Von. He was on Theo Von's show talking about the fact that he and Elon spar on Twitter, and just the way he describes the sparring with him, he's so juvenile. Just look at this.
On a little bit ago, I know you guys have like I don't know if it's a feud. What is it? You think it almost seems romantic a little bit?
Yeah, I just like to fuck with him. Yeah, right. I mean, because it's like.
He loves being on Twitter too.
Oh, it's his thling, right?
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I guess if he paid 40-something billion.
Yeah, you pay 44 billion. You better hang out. It's like why do I go to the Mavs games, right? But yeah, I don't dislike Elon, but he says some stupid shit, and it's just like I have no problem calling him out.
Yeah,
and he's thin-skinned, right? And so, like, I'll tell you my one little Elon story, right? So I didn't get to know him, but I was helped him with something or tried to help him. And so I had his number, and I texted him a couple of times, like he had a kid, and I'm like, congrats on your 97th kid. And he texted me back, Mars needs kids, right? Mars needs people. And I'm like, that's funny as shit, right? And so one day I had a Tesla, and I said something about it, and he just sends me a text with the article saying, fuck you. That's it. just fuck you. And I was like, okay. I mean, it was the truth, right? Fuck you. I'm like, okay, so that's
a text with the article that what?
That I said something that wasn't totally positive about Tesla.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay,
right.
So that's what the article was about.
Right. So he was just like, fuck you. I'm like, okay. And then it was nothing, no big deal. I don't care one way or the other. And then he buys Twitter, right? And then he starts getting real political, right?
Yeah.
And so not a lot of people are going to stand up to him. And I'm like, fuck it, I don't care, right? So he's called me racist. He's called me, poop emoji multiple times. He calls me all these names. And so like that, to me, that just gives me license to fuck with him even more. Right. I don't care if he calls me names. I don't give a shit what he thinks. Right. But it's still fun. Right. Just to hit him with the LOLs or whatever.
But hit him with the LOLs.
He totally cares what Elon thinks about him. He absolutely cares.
Oh, yeah,
he like lays awake at night and he cares.
Yep.
He's so broken. Like so many liberals, he's just broken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just and he doesn't understand reality because he wants Kamala to win. Like he doesn't live in the real world like the rest of us. At least Elon can understand how it is for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I give him credit for that because he doesn't have to, And I guess Mark Cuban is one of the billionaires that liberals are okay with since they hate billionaires or they claim they hate billionaires. But he's one of the ones that's okay. But then they'll demonize Elon because they're a bunch of freaking hypocrites. I find that so amusing.
And
You're in
nice
the club.
Simon Cowell t-shirt. Loser.
I know. Like maybe find one that fits, dude.
Can you imagine? Like sometimes, because Elon, of course, is on the spectrum, which is a gift and a curse in his case. But when I think about the part of him that's gifted, where he just has an ability to see and understand and know things that are way above like a regular human level,
right?
It has to be the weight of the world on his shoulders to know and understand the dangers to humanity in a way that regular people just don't. And then to also know that he has the talent and smarts to be able to solve some of it, which he has in some ways,
right?
With his inventions and creations.
It's a responsibility. It's such a responsibility.
How does he sleep ever? Like, how does he?
He probably doesn't sleep a lot.
I can't imagine.
And then it's also got to be so exhausting too, to know, like to be in the presence of people like a Mark Cuban, who is, he's a billionaire. He's an idiot. He's a billionaire, but it's like, you look at him and you're like, it's kind of like Kylie Jenner being a billionaire,
Right. Exactly.
You're like, you really lucked out, dude.
Mark, whether you really would entertain.
Like you really lucked out, and good for you for becoming a billionaire. But Elon is actually brilliant. He's just so brilliant. And I'm sure that sometimes when he's around people like that, he's just like, I don't want to waste my time with people like you or people like Don Lemon, who are just, I'm sure it's hard for him to talk to people like that sometimes because he's just so much smarter than everybody else. And it's got to be exhausting for him sometimes. It's like, I just don't want to explain this to you because you're so dumb.
And it must be very isolating to have that kind of
intelligence.
brain.
Right.
Yeah. I can't imagine. Okay. Now this clip, very, very short, will give you a little bit of insight as to why Mark Cuban is so in the tank for Kamala right now. I think she's made a deal with him.
But I ask you, Mark, whether you would entertain being a Treasury Secretary, Commerce Secretary in a Harris
Head of the
administration.
SEC. Head of the SEC. That's the job I would take.
God help us all.
That's a good idea at all.
That would be a terrible idea.
Yeah.
And he's totally jockeying for a position. Do
you feel like he's more rabid than he used to be? Like he's almost on something. He seems so
jacked up,
wired,
like jacked up, and then and there's stuff like he's put all the filler crap in his face.
Something is going on with that dude.
What's in your filler that's making you so jacked up? Calm down.
I know, right?
Yeah, and put on a shirt that fits.
He was on Squawk Box, and what is his name? Joe Kernan. I can't remember his name, but he's always so good at just like saying whatever he's going to say.
I love that guy.
So he has a bit of a back and forth, doesn't let Mark Cuban get a whole lot of words in edgewise, and rightly so.
Unable to answer the question about are you better off now than 4 years ago, I think that was illustrative.
Well, 4 years ago, literally, we're in a pandemic. It was an easy answer.
We can look at exactly what happened. He's already been president. And we can look at what happened when she was vice president. and it's not good. The
Being
comparison.
the president, Joe, as you know, is different than being vice president. It's not close, right?
So she can take credit for the good things that happened with Biden, but she didn't have anything to do with the bad
Donald
things.
Trump.
I love him. I
know.
really do.
So great.
Uh-huh.
So great.
Yep.
All right. Now it is time for your DD.
All right. So I have always hated geese. And I think you guys are always telling me, you need to get this animal, you need to get that animal living on your ranch, whatever. Geese are out. They were until I saw this video and I'm like, okay, well, they seem somewhat nice. But I once punched a goose in the face because it was attacking my friend's 18-month-old daughter. And so I felt like I had to, because they're mean, you guys. Geese are mean.
Oh, they can be super mean. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was coming after my friend's daughter. And so I punched it. And so I don't have a good history with geese. But then I saw this and I thought, I mean, this is kind of sweet, you know? He has pet geese. And they were concerned. They are concerned. Except for one. There's like one in the back. It's like, I don't really care. I'm going to go do my own thing. But I mean, it's sweet. They're either concerned or they're going to eat him. I'm not quite certain like what's happening.
Well,
there.
the craziest thing about that is that I saw a whole different video of a woman playing that same trick on her geese yesterday.
Did they try to eat her?
No, it was the same thing where they were so worried. I mean, all of them, they were like, they just ran over to her and they were so worried and they were squawking and honking.
Well.
And then she got up and she was like, I'm okay. But that's so crazy that this is a new challenge.
Maybe they're nicer than I thought. You know, my husband would never allow me to have geese.
You just can't deal with like the regular
wild geese.
Yeah.
Because
maybe
my
if you
whole
have them, they're
my
better.
whole history with geese has been that they are just jerks. So there's that. But I do want fainting goats. I've asked my husband for 5. We'll see how that works out because this is what I want right now on my property. I want them, you guys. I need to have 3. I said, listen, we can settle for 3. And I'm like, you wouldn't have fun. I mean, come on.
You weren't supposed to jump.
And we can name them Mo, Larry, and Curly if we have 3. I love how they put that sound effect in there. That's the greatest. Look at the tiny one.
Oh my God.
Just love them so much, you guys.
So sad that this happens to them.
I know. It's sad, but it's also awesome. It's just a physiological response. People are asking why that happens.
It's the breed. I mean, it's a whole ass breed.
Yeah, it is a breed. They actually are called fainting goats. And when you startle them or whatever, it's just they lock up.
Yeah.
It's a physiological thing. And it's only for like a couple seconds, like 30 seconds, and then they get back up and they're fine. Mm-hmm.
It's just they freeze and then they snap out of it.
So I'm going to work on the fainting goats, you guys, and we'll see how that works out. My husband is very stubborn, but we'll see.
It is time for some MyPillow talks. The first one is hurricane related. This was before things got really, really bad in Florida. There are some Trump supporters that are going to say that they're supporting Trump, no matter what the conditions are, as you can see.
I love it. That's his boat parade. There it is.
There it is. That's right. And then I need you to install this for your cows. I need you to.
Look at those sweet cows. What are they doing? Is it a scratch?
They love it. Yes,
Is it a scratch
scratcher.
post?
You have to get one.
Yeah, Greg has talked about getting a scratcher. Look at all of them waiting for it. They're all like, what
oh my God,
are
they
you
cannot
doing?
wait. They know.
They're
They
so cute.
know what's happening and
God,
they're
cows
so
are
happy.
Oh, yeah. He's talked about maybe doing something like this on our property, some sort of that's a fancy one.
Look at how much they
They're
love it.
so happy. They constantly scratch on things. I mean, and then I go out there and then I scratch them all the time. Look.
You have to get
guys.
this. It can't be all that expensive, right?
Well, I mean, that structure is probably not super cheap because you have to put that into the ground, that big metal thing is probably not cheap. But I mean, it'd be worth it because look how happy they are.
Oh my God, they're so happy.
What is this sweet nugget?
Well, because I've been like kind of obsessing about German short-haired pointers. I just love their markings so much. And this one, look at the puppy's floppity flippity floppity ears, you guys.
Oh my God. I feel like his name is Reginald. I would name him Reginald. I don't know why. He just looks
love
like
him.
He's so sweet.
I love him so much.
Smells unbelievable.
Oh yeah, totally, totally. We have to have cats. We have two things of cats today, but one is actually a person. You'll see what I mean in a second. But today's cats are all about smells that they do not like.
Oh my God, why? Why are they like this? Is it yogurt?
Cottage cheese.
It's all kinds of different. That's
Somebody?
cottage cheese.
Oh my God, what?
Oh,
They drink milk?
Pesto chicken pasta?
Oh my God. That's my family with most of my cooking. Literally my whole family.
Oh!
I don't understand. That's
okay. And
hysterical.
then lastly, we have a guy saying what cats would say if they could talk. And the
Okay.
thing that makes this extra, extra awesome is that he has an accent and it's just delightful. So, but this is so true. This is absolutely
What they would
100%
say.
accurate.
Wake up, I'm hungry and bored and want attention. Hello. Ugh, I am shattered. I was up all night trying to wake you up. Anyway, I'm going to go and sleep in a really impractical spot for about 5 hours. See you in a bit. I just threw up in the bedroom if you want to go and sort that out. Hey, could you do me a favour? Could you stroke me just behind the ear there? That's it. Just there. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Stop it. Just killed a mouse. Just killed a bird. You know that new toy you got me? Just wanted to say, not a fan, but love the box. Big fan of the box. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? Don't touch me. Don't touch me in public. Just meet me back at home. Meet me back at home. Okay, just a heads up. It's getting a bit late and I've got a real urge to go absolutely mental around the house. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to charge up and down the stairs a few times and then I'm going to come running in here with my back arched and run sideways while maintaining eye contact with you. Right, I'm off out. See you about 3 o'clock in the morning.
So true. Dogs.
so
He needs to
cats.
do one for dogs.
I know. I love that so
Oh
much.
my God, that's epic.
We've
So
got
great.
some more thank yous. Karen Marisco says Scholastic News used to poll kids for president and were almost always right. Kids reflect what they hear at home. Sadly, those stats show how the hatred is reflected also. Pray and using my voice, speak up for our kids.
That's really interesting that they used to do that. Huh. Yeah.
I don't ever
Okay.
remember having that happen.
No one has ever polled me ever. Really
Ever.
disappointed. Yeah.
Osuki says the Democrats are war profiteers. That's why they love war. Chasing Grace says we are all different shades of wheat.
Yes.
I guess that's true.
It's so true.
Raymond Cromley says Biden will go scorched earth. I don't know what context that is, but it
Probably on guns.
maybe. Yeah. Jose Rodriguez says Diddy needs to stock up on Costco toilet paper for all the shit he's about to go through. Take more money. The Great Gatsby says regarding AI, it's already started. They have found AI was given a task to complete in a certain amount of time. It failed and then lied and switched time zones.
Oh my God. It's terrifying, you guys.
Oh my God, that's so freaky. Oh my God. Stephanie Mum says prayers needed for my baby girl flying to Florida this AM to Disney despite the weather. Well, actually, I mean, it's on the way out, so I guess that makes sense. We'll be getting proposed to while there.
Does she wait?
She's
She
our
doesn't know?
eldest
Are
and
we-
only girl and will be the first to get married, graduated college 1 year ago and now adulting. I hope
And
she
we're
doesn't watch the show.
I was going to say, we're saying this out loud. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hope she doesn't.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That is so cool. Congrats. And I hope all that works out
That's
like the way that it was
awesome.
supposed to.
Yes. Congrats to her. It's fantastic. Bringing it in. Bringing it in. Oh my gosh. Bringing it in. I'm yawning. I'm sorry. Those mornings, you guys. I hope you have the best weekend ever. We have stuff to do, but I'm not traveling this weekend, so I'm really excited just to be here and in my bed. That's what I'm thankful for. I hope you guys are thankful for a whole lot of things. There are good things happening in the world. Be thankful for them, and we will talk to you on Monday.
Wait,
bye,
people
everybody.
are demanding flaps.
Are you serious?
Because it's Friday.
All right, hold on.
You almost had it, you guys. We were almost out of here. And then thanks to me, I got you. I saw all the flap requests. So hopefully we'll get
It's a hard time getting up off the concrete floor.
God,
Look
at
at
her. There
everybody.
she
Okay,
is.
hold on. Can you flap? Oh God, oh God, oh God. Okay, flap. You got to flap. There it was. Did you see it?
That counts.
Okay, all right. Okay. You guys have a great weekend.
Bye.